Hi everybody, and welcome to today's Katotero lesson on the Divine Liturgy. My name is Kyria Christina Bujarowski, and I am blessed to teach at the Holy Cross Church in Wollongong. I hope you and pray that you are all well. You ready for today's lesson? Sit tight and let's go on a little adventure. For all of you children listening, and even for myself, something occurred in 1969, before we were born. That made everyone glued to their TV or radio. Can any of you little historians guess what happened in 1969? How about this clue?
Yeah. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Yes, you're correct. Neil Armstrong was the first man to set foot on the moon. Today, however, we are going to discuss something that if we do right will raise us even higher than the moon. It will raise us to the kingdom of heaven. The Holy Liturgy, without the use of space, travel and the dangers associated with it, takes us away from earth and lifts us up into heaven. The Holy Liturgy raises us to a world filled with light and happiness. As you are all aware, the Holy Liturgy is not only performed every Sunday, but also during the week. In the early church, a liturgy was performed every day of the week. The faithful would receive Holy Communion every single day. Imagine that. That is so beautiful. The liturgy symbolizes the life of Christ. We will, however, today concentrate only on two parts, the small and the great entrance. The small entrance takes place after the priest makes some supplications. The chanters respond to the supplications with Kyrie eleison. When the chanters chant the hymn of the day, the priest exits from the left door of the sanctuary holding the Bible. The altar boys, holding their candles, walk around the church. With care, they proceed around the inside of the church. The faithful bow their heads as they pass. The candles that go before the Bible represent St. John the Baptist, who came before Christ to tell of Christ's coming. The priest carrying the Bible symbolizes the coming of Christ and his word. The whole procession reaches the front of the church, just in front of the great doors. The priest, raising the Bible, chants, "Wisdom rise." In other words, this is the book that holds all the truth. It has everything inside that people need to live according to God's way. In other words, stand up and worship Christ, who saved us from all sin. He endured the cross and rose from the dead, showing he is the light and the truth. The priest then enters the altar and places the Bible on the holy altar. Soon after this, the Apostle and the Gospel readings are heard. After the readings, we proceed to the great entrance. At this part of the liturgy, the holy gifts are transferred from the place of preparation to the main altar. The priest exits from the left door of the sanctuary holding the holy gifts. The procession walks around the church. The procession at the great entrance symbolizes the coming of Christ among us to sacrifice himself for our salvation. The Cherubim hymn reminds us that we at this point in the liturgy represent the angels that sit around the throne of God in heaven. It is important that we are not filled with idle thoughts, but rather we pray and we ask God to remember us in his kingdom. As the procession of the holy gifts is happening, the chanters chant the cherubim hymn, which asks the Lord to always remember all of us in his eternal kingdom. In other words, to have a place for us in paradise. The procession passes the faithful. They bow their heads, do the sign of the cross. They also repeat the words, Lord, remember me in your kingdom. The last words of the thief that was crucified alongside Christ. When the procession enters the altar and the holy gifts are placed on it, this ends the great entrance part of the liturgy. Kids, now, on what day of the week is the liturgy performed? I know some of you are thinking Sundays, but yes, the Holy Liturgy can be performed every day. The liturgy represents the life of Christ. And what does the small entrance represent? Can you remember? Remember that the candles that go before the Bible represent St. John the Baptist, who came before Christ to tell of Christ's coming. And what does the priest carrying the Bible symbolize it? That symbolizes the coming of Christ and his word. That is right. During the Divine Liturgy, we take part in the life of Christ. We live his presence and slowly we are elevated into heaven, even higher than what Neil Armstrong reached when he walked on the moon. And do you remember what the great entrance represents? At this part of the liturgy, the holy gifts are transferred from the place of preparation to the main altar. Okay, and remember the priest exits from the left door of the sanctuary holding the holy gifts. And it symbolizes the coming of Christ among us to sacrifice himself for our salvation. We are very blessed to understand what happens during the Divine Liturgy. Many people often complain that they don't understand what happens or what is said. And when one asks them why they don't attend, they answer saying, why should I go if I don't understand? But is this an excuse? Do you think it's an excuse if you don't understand not to attend? No, not really, as there are many ways to help us understand what is happening and what is said in the liturgy. When we can't do our homework because we don't understand it, we don't just say, well, it's too hard, so that's it, I'm not going to do it. We would ask for help from our parents or from the teachers. In the same way, we should ask for help to understand the liturgy. Ask our parents, our Sunday school teachers, come to Sunday school and listen to the lessons. There are many ways and opportunities to work out and understand what is happening. And many churches often perform liturgies during the week in English only. Another way to understand the liturgy is with the help of a Greek or English liturgy book. We will be able to follow the liturgy and with a little self-discipline will understand and therefore be able to participate in the life of the church. These we can buy and have our own. Some Sunday schools hand these out every Sunday for their students to follow what is happening and to be able to understand these. I know at our church, at the Holy Cross Church, we give a handbook to each child and they're able to look at the liturgy and follow it in both English and in Greek and able to see pictures. So there are many ways that we're able to follow and understand what is happening in the Divine Liturgy. Now, I hope you all enjoyed that lesson. Take care and have a good week. God bless.